You ever notice when you're on a dating app, you swipe, 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 then you see an ad, you swipe, 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 there's another ad. Some of them might show you like actual video ads, pop-ups, things like that. So they need to work well enough that they believe, like people who are on the dating apps will believe that they work, but not so well that they get rid of their entire client base. Because if you think that the dating apps make their money through these like Tinder Gold, only $5.99 a month, and you can see that Becky liked your picture, right? That's not where they're making their money. They're making their money with the hundreds of millions of users that are on these apps seeing ad revenue. Ad revenue is the name of the game. They know how to monetize your desperation, and they're pretty fucking good at it. Would I use Tinder as a man? Yeah, why not? If you want to get laid, you go to Tinder to get laid. You go to Tinder to find a nice woman who would like a nice man or whatever that she happens to be attracted to, and you see where that goes, right? But what was your question? Would you, if so, do you have any profile tips? Like, should you write a bio or just use pictures and hope they take the bait? Okay, so like the reality of dating apps is that part and parcel of being on the dating apps is that they are heavily skewed towards women. That is a reality of the numbers because there are many, many, many more men on these dating apps than there are women. So I'm not saying women's behaviors or anything like that has anything to do with it, although we can talk about that as well because there is something to say there. But it has a lot more to do with the fact that there are many, many more men seeking women on the dating apps. And therefore, just by like a market nature, women have a higher market value. That is not to say that women are things or items. It's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is when something is more rare, we tend to value it more. So there's an ever increasing number of men on these dating apps trying to capture the attention of an ever decreasing amount of women. Tinder is widely known as one of the dating apps that you go on for sex, you go on to get laid. That's not to say you couldn't find a healthy long-term relationship on Tinder. It's just to say that you're less likely to. So my suggestion to any men who like are looking for a romantic experience that is maybe a bit longer, not sex, right? Not hookups, would be to use dating apps that incentivize or rather market themselves for those types of things. So that might be Hinge, right? That might be Coffee Meets Bagel. That might be Match.com, those types of things. I would say that you're going to find people who are more serious about finding dates on the apps that are paid, not apps that are free that have a monetized element to them. So dating apps in and of themselves are, I think, pretty toxic. I think that they work, but they work for the wrong reasons. Dating apps, the reason that they don't work is because they basically gamify the whole situation, right? And not only that, but there's a lot of bots on dating apps. And this is like a known thing. We know that there's bots on dating apps. You go through dating apps, you scroll, okay? You might get a few matches. The majority of those matches either are bots or won't answer, right? Because they have 500 other guys who have scrolled on them and they're like, or swiped. Sorry, it's not scroll, it's swipe. So now, number one, there's just a logistical problem that exists within dating apps because you have so many people trying to compete for the same amount of attention like I mentioned earlier. That's the first part of it. The second part of it is finding matches that you even gel with beyond, oh, they're attractive, right? So that might mean the person's a good conversationalist. We can build rapport with one another. We can sort of like jab each other, tell some jokes to each other. We get along. Okay. Then you graduate to, we're going to go out on a date. The large majority of dating apps reward someone for how they look and not who they are, because that's all dating apps really have. I can read words on a page, but that doesn't really tell me who someone is. That happens at the date. So how you look gets you through the door, and who you are is what keeps you there, right? If you're on a dating app, the best thing you can do as a guy is take good, well-lit photos of yourself doing activities you enjoy. Generally, you should be looking at the camera if possible. Generally, you should be smiling if possible. You should absolutely not hold a fish on a dating app picture. That has been memed to death. Please, if you're looking to find someone on a dating app, do not hold a fish. Don't do it. Don't take a picture of a fish. Don't have a fish bowl in the room. Don't hold up a fish. Don't show you doing anything harmful to animals. Don't take pictures of you in front of an American flag. That's cringy. Don't take pictures of you with your guns. Don't talk about how much you love Donald Trump. You will not get laid if you like Donald Trump on dating apps. It's not going to happen. Unless you're using a app specifically for that. Don't do it. What else can you do on dating apps? Dating apps should be supplemental. You should be out living a good, happy, healthy life. You should be out trying the flavors and doing new things and seeing how life works for you. What do I mean by that? You can adopt new hobbies or behaviors or, things that make you go out and have to be around other people. That could be a yoga class. That could be something like rock climbing. That could be something like board game night, looking up groups on meetup.com, all of those types of things. Anything that gets you outside of your house and around other people where people can actually be met. Because guess what? You're not going to meet them chilling in your room, right? And if you do, the quality of that relationship will likely just be sexual in nature. What else is there? Oh, I want to talk about, what was I going to say? I want to talk about the concept of dating apps is built into the dating apps. Here's what you have to understand about dating apps is that they have to work well enough that you believe that they work, but not so well that they lose their client base. Dating apps are incentivized to keep you on the dating apps because a few things. Number one, if they lose their client base, there goes all their ad revenue. There goes all their money. You ever notice when you're on a dating app, you swipe, then you see an ad, you swipe, there's another ad. Some of them might show you like actual video ads, pop-ups, things like that. So they need to work well enough that they believe, like people who are on the dating apps will believe that they work, but not so well that they get rid of their entire client base. Because if you think that the dating apps make their money through these like Tinder Gold, only $5.99 a month, and you can see that Becky liked your picture, right? That's not where they're making their money. They're making their money with the hundreds of millions of users that are on these apps seeing ad revenue. Ad revenue is the name of the game. They know how to monetize your desperation, and they're pretty fucking good at it. So, food for thought. Questions? How we feeling about dating apps? We feeling good? Now get out there and get some pussy, champ. Get out there and get laid, you simp. That's directed at nobody in particular. I've been on a dating app before, but it was very short-lived. And that was just, so there was a time that I would go on dating apps and recommend them to people. I've been offered money from, I never told this story, have I? Okay, when you do the type of content that I have historically done, you get more sponsors related to those types of things. I have been offered free profiles, free dating apps, etc. And not money, right? Only one of them offered money, and that was Coffee Meets Bagel, which I did not take, by the way. I did not take sponsorships from any dating apps. I've never taken any money from any dating app ever. So the opinions that I give you are free from any sort of like monetary coercion or benefit. Tinder had offered me money to make a video sponsored by them. Coffee Meets Bagel did. Plenty of Fish did. Tinder made other dating sites when they tried to Tinderize themselves. That's because Tinder, the company, owns a few of them. So Match Group, the company, owns Tinder, owns Match. I've never even heard of this one. Hinge, Our Time, OkCupid. That would actually make sense. That makes sense because these two offered me money. That makes sense. One company owns all of these. So they don't want you to win. The dating app company doesn't want you to win. I just want you to consider that. Here, if you want to win at dating apps, not dating apps, if you want to get a girlfriend, here is the best way I can think of that you can get a girlfriend, okay? People complicate out of it. They use the dating apps. They use, other external means. If you want to use dating app, fine. Use it supplementary. Shouldn't be your primary mode of trying to get a girlfriend. It should be supplementary. I went out, lived my life. I had a good day, exercised, whatever, put myself where people could be met. And then I come home and I scroll on the dating app for 30 minutes. Fine. I'm not going to tell you otherwise. If you want to get a girlfriend or a boyfriend or just a normal friend, here's how you do it. Go where people can be met on a consistent basis. It is called consistent accidental contact. Here's what that means. Consistent accidental contact is when I go to a place the same time, the same day, every week for a purpose that aligns with whatever my interests are. So that maybe that's exercising, like at the gym. I keep using the rock climbing example. It's just an easy one. People are at rock climbing gyms. It's a social sport. Go to a place where people can be met at the same time, because what begins to happen is you start to see the same people, because human beings are routine-based creatures, right? You guys with me so far? So you go there, you're hanging out, you're doing your thing, and you begin to see the same people as you go. And at first, you're not even going to acknowledge each other. And then as things go on, you begin to see the same people a little more, and you kind of give them like one of these, like, hey, what's up? How's it going? Right? And they start to do it back. Oh, hey, a little nod of recognition. Then you keep going. We're talking, 10, 11, 12, 13 times. And that little nod of recognition turns into like a small conversation. Hey, how are you going, man? Like, hope your day is going well. What's new? How's life? Right? You begin to slowly form a bond. You begin to slowly build rapport. Okay, what happens after that point? That rapport turns into, hey, me and a few of the people from the rock climbing gym are going to get together and go out for lunch. You want to go? Or you can even be the facilitator of those plans, because now you are much more familiar with these people, so they're much more open to these plans. Okay? Yeah, sure, that sounds great. Bring so and so. Cool. Let's just say it's a group of all guys and you're looking to date a girl. Okay. These are networking opportunities, because now you can say, hey, why don't I bring a friend? You bring a friend, they bring a friend, and then we'll all form a little friend group. We'll meet some people. Like we'll make this a bigger thing. Or they know single people. So what are you doing now? You've met new people to make friends with, which enhances your life. You are getting physically fit at the rock climbing gym, which enhances your life and gets you outside of your room and away from a phone, away from a screen where you can overthink. You're actually putting your body to work, which improves your life. You're meeting people. Those people know people. Some of those people have vaginas and are single. You see where I'm going with this? And some of the other people you might meet are women. Hooray! And maybe you don't want women. Maybe you want men. Maybe you want someone who identifies differently. But the point is, you're not going to find what you want chilling at home. What you most want to find will be found where you least want to find it. That is how you find someone to date. What do most people do? They get on these motherfucking dating apps and they scroll for pussy. I'll have some of that, right? And they treat it like it's Amazon.com. Amazon.ca if you live in Canada. Amazon.jp if you live in Japan. If you treat dating like it's fast food, don't be surprised when your stomach hurts.